Gonna do this a touch differently for the Sunday Spotlight, where we shine a light on all things that happen on footy on a Sunday. I'm actually gonna do this as kind of like a top 5 talking points kind of video, just because A, we've got more footy on a Saturday, so I feel like a recap is probably better suited for that day, and I don't want to be recycling the same old things. And also, I just think it's going to be a more fun and interesting way to dissect what's happened. So let me know if you enjoy that kind of format as we go through the video. We'll be going here, there, and everywhere, and wrapping up a big Sunday of footy. So fingers crossed you enjoy. We have so much to talk about. Let's do it. So I'm not a religious person at all. That is not for me to say, and I'm not saying that your belief, if you have one, is wrong or stupid. That is absolutely not what I'm saying, and not something that I believe in at all. I actually really kind of envy people that have got that level of faith. It's just not something that I do. I'm not right. You're not wrong. It's just who I am. The reason why I bring this up is that it's really kind of getting hard to deny footy, God, good karma, I should say, or an internal belief that can just get you up. Because with the tragic loss of Adam Selwood, and I can't believe that we are doing this again, not just for the Selwood family, but for men's mental health as a whole. But we're here, and for the Eagles through that level of resilience, sadness, and translate it into the most open and free-flowing and almost don't give up level of footy was awesome and fantastic to see. And I do genuinely believe that through that talking point that Minnie and Adam helped get West Coast over the line. Minnie against his old side. Of course, he played for the Saints back in those late 2000s, early 2010s days. And it would be silly of me to deny that there's not something there. I don't know what it is. It's not really my job to find out. But Adam helping the Eagles get up one more time was as beautiful as you could hope for, which was incredible. I loved how Oscar Allen spoke after the game, which was incredible. I loved him opening up about his journey. And whilst I can't believe that we are here, again, the easy way that I can explain this, guys, is that instead of coming at this from the it's okay to speak up, it's okay to not be okay, we kind of know these things. You've always got to try and sort of attack things from a different angle. And it's more so, what can we do to check in on people? And I honestly think the first and most beneficial step is phone calls. More phone calls need to be happening. Direct messages and throwaways are kind of not the way to go about these things. If you notice that you haven't caught up with a mate in a while, and maybe you can't because life is busy, ring them. Don't send them a message. Don't send them a text. They're easy to ignore. They're easy to get rid of. And if you are somewhat in the area and a mate of yours is a little bit down, rock up. Rock up unannounced. I know a lot of people having some anxiety about that. I understand that. But these are your mates that you're talking about. Get around them, rock up. If they're not home, leave them a note, leave them a letter. All of these kinds of things need to keep happening, because there are so many reasons why mental health is going down in this country for everyone. But yes, men under 45 die by suicide more than anything else. And this shit is not okay. And yes, we need to demand a mental health round from the AFL. No, not at the expense of any other minorities or any other rounds that we already have. Add it into the calendar fucking somewhere. I don't know where, but somewhere. And also, let's start demanding better from our fucking governments as well, because, and I found this out today, the average price for a fourth appointment at a psychologist in Australia is $320. Kind of hard to try and sort your shit out when you're being financially ostracized from feeling better. And no, this is not this is what you get for voting Labor or whatever. No, because fucking Liberals didn't go about this either. We have a domestic violence and a mental health problem in this country, and it needs to be fucking fixed. And if the people in charge aren't going to do it for us, we have to do it ourselves. And we have to do it for each other. We need to keep doing it while people are alive. Rant over. West Coast. Awesome. Tyler Brockman is a midfielder. I rate it highly. If Brady Hoff is not the captain of this team in 3 years' time, we have got a serious problem. And a massive congrats to Minnie McQualter. A fantastic first win in charge of the Eagles. 11 out of the 13 players for Melbourne that had 15 or more disposals against Brisbane were drafted by Melbourne. And considering what they've been able to do with their last 2 drafts with their 4 first-round picks, yes, I know, the Bombers have got there first. I believe that whether it's Cozzy going to Freo or somehow else, they will try and find a way to trade back into the first round of this draft. I think we should really trust Melbourne's ability to draft. Look at Langford, look at Lindsay, the amount of contests that they got to late in that game. Langford, really late in the game. Lindsay with the contest with Rayner in the centre square where he could have hung back, but he attacked the footy and got the too high free kick. I don't know, and I don't think this is the week to speculate about Simon Goodwin, but the recruiting department and the quality of youngsters coming through is top shelf by the Dees. It really is. And hey, the Clayton Oliver run with role actually looks like it works. It's getting him around the footy, which is awesome. The way that he was able to burn off Lachie Neale was great. I love that. And when you take into consideration guys like Bowie, Judd McVee, Trent Rivers, these guys that have come through the Melbourne recruiting system of a few years ago now. I know Bowie is earlier than the other 2 guys. Of course, what they were able to do with Pickett and Jackson. Yes, I know Jackson left, but Melbourne had those draft picks there and nailed it. The future of Melbourne's looking pretty damn good. Now, whilst, yes, I find it hard to believe that a coach can win a flag, go through a rebuild, and win another flag. I don't count Chris Scott in that because Geelong didn't really rebuild. They were just annoyingly good for a long time. But that part of what's happening at Melbourne is a tick, and if they can get some more solidarity behind the scenes, and it looks like they'll be able to do that come the start of 26, it might be a quicker bounce back than you think. This was an awesome win. I tell you, they did everything they could to lose this game. North Melbourne did. And look, they won it in the first quarter, which I know sounds strange. And look, I had to, well, not had to, but I did, listened to the first 2 quarters, the first half, obviously, on the radio on the way home. And by the way, Triple M, Jess Webster, who commentated this game with Jack Everin, and I'm a big Jack man. That sounds weird, but I'm a big fan of Jack. Jess Webster is a rising star in the commentary space. To listen to, the fluidity in her commentary, she's a friggin' jet. So shout out to you, Jess. And if you are listening, Triple M obviously don't pay me. I wish they did. That would be great. Get me in the box, guys. And I'll happily do specials with Jess and Jack because as a team, they were awesome and she was great. But North, senior guys, welcome to the party. Cam Zohar, welcome to the party. Tom Powell for 4 quarters. Yes, it is really weird that the pick 13, I think, in the 20 draft is considered a senior guy, but when you look at the list makeup of the Kangaroos, that's kind of where you're at this point in time. Luke Davies-Uniacke decided that, hey, just because I got paid, I can finally learn to play football finally in that second half, especially that last quarter. His clearances, even though he loves running backwards, there's big LDU, but in order to get onto his right foot, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but he stepped up in a massive way. Caleb Daniels' last quarter was better, although I can understand why North fans are frustrated, but when they had to stand up, their most composed player on the entire ground was Toby Pink. And how bloody good is that, by the way? He was awesome throughout this game. And as soon as they let go of Aiden Core in terms of their plans moving forward and they just give it to Pink and Charlie Comben and just live and die by that, North will be in really good shape because with the ball, they look okay. They really do. Without the ball, they look iffy, and Richmond made enough mistakes to not get the victory, as we know, and North did enough. But look, falling over the line, if that's what you want to call it, is going to be to the benefit of this group who have had a couple of weeks of maybes. And look, to be honest, I was worried that North were going to go into this game and go, we've been so close. We take a step back before we launch 2 steps forward. They didn't do that, to their credit. They probably could have in that second quarter, especially when everything just came to a stop. But here we are. And welcome to the party, Colby McKercher. It's been 2 months, but the season has started. Great, man. And look, Colby is Zach Merritt 2.0, I think can be for the Roos. The problem is that the midfield room ahead of him is vast, especially when you bring in Luke Parker as well, by the way. But he was able to not only get his defensive game up, but on the outside, he looked as dangerous as he's been all year, which I freaking love. If there was just one little complaint, just one, can you kick the ball inside 50 quicker? And if you're thinking, yeah, but they had a spare for 3 quarters, don't let them have a spare would be the way to go. You brought an extra up to stoppage, and for basically 1.5, 2 quarters, kick the ball inside 50 to Nick Vlosten. Why? Don't do it. Wheel and go. And even if you do get outmarked, and even if you create a contest and bring it to ground with even numbers, number one, it's 50-50. And number two, they're not going to be able to have the extra on the way out. And too many times it was Sheasel, it was Powell, it was Parker, it was Darling. These are guys that have got experience, would turn, look at 2-on-2 and stop. And that's not what we want. And Dylan Stevens. This is now a month of good form from Dill. This is why you pay a late first round pick. It took a while, but he's here now. Let's enjoy it, hopefully while it lasts. And from a consistency point of view, let's hope that's a very long time. Well done, North. Brilliant. Lovely. And Richmond fans, you're going to be disappointed with the loss, but in all honesty, the growth of these young kids is just getting better and better. And yes, Tom Sims made some mistakes. Geez, he looks good though. Hasn't been the greatest 2 or 3 weeks for the reigning premier, but considering how short their preseason was, considering in the past how hard it's been for reigning premiers to get themselves back up, they've done an incredible job to get at this point in the season being as good as they are, considering the amount of comebacks that they've had to make to start the season, all of these things that aggregate together into a loss at home. And let's be honest, it wasn't even an awful one. They had the draw against North, again, which isn't awful. It's not ideal, obviously, but it's not awful. And then, yeah, you lost to Melbourne. That's not great on paper. You weren't blown out of the water, though. So it's not like they're in a bad position, but the worry is this the start? Is this now a 2 or 3 week sample size of a proper drop-off? Now, as a Hawthorn supporter who play Brisbane on Saturday, I am hoping so selfishly. As someone that really does have a soft spot for Brisbane, I love a lot of their players. And Zach Bailey and Hugh McCluggage, both are my men, were fucking outstanding during this game. I hope that's not the case, and the game at the MCG is a really good one where the Hawks just break away and win by 3 or 4 goals would be extra handy. But there is that going to be that concern. And I think this game against the Hawks, because yes, they're going to be on the road, everything is working against them from a stamina fitness point of view. They have 6 weeks until the bye, I think, 5 or 6. So if they are running out of petrol tickets and they limp to the bye, that could be a bit of a struggle. And again, it's not their fault. They have won the flag. They are playing with house money, especially when you consider the history. But it is something to look out for. And Darcy Gardner kicking 4 is awesome. It still does show me that Joe is still leaving a bigger hole than maybe I think most Brisbane fans are realising. I still have faith in Brisbane. I really do. I still think they're a top 4 calibre side. I'm not reading this as they're gone, but it is something to look out for. It's going to be, Daz's observations as we move towards the mid part of the season. I still hope and need the Hawks to get up, by the way. I would argue that there are not many teams in the competition that can just expect a win to come from nowhere. I don't think that's what Brisbane did, but even Brisbane v Melbourne, you could argue, that is an example of maybe they just expected some things to happen and things didn't happen. So what in God's name made St Kilda think they could get on a plane and just do it? Right? Yes, all of the West Coast stuff from earlier in the video is still true. I am not arguing or debating that. And they had a lot working against them. I understand that. But at the end of the day, not enough of them wanted to put their head over the footy enough. Not enough of them wanted to get the ball moving enough. And the amount of missed handballs and one-handed efforts and the amount of times where it was almost palpable in the level of obvious of someone else will do it. You deserve to lose this. It's as simple as that. You just deserve to lose. You rocked up. You didn't really give a shit from a squad point of view, and you paid for it. And that is a level of arrogance that, I'm sorry, this football club, this team, and this coach have not earned, bar none, nothing. They have done zero to earn the title of, we got this. And Saints fans are tortured enough, and you can hate me for saying this. That's fine. If you want me to be your villain, I'm okay with that. I would be more annoyed personally at this football club, because at the end of the day, you rocked up to a team who's 0-9. Yes, I know the Adam Selwood stuff. I know all of that. I really do. No excuses. None. So don't offer any. And every time I believe in the Saints, they kick me in the dick. God knows how you guys feel if you're watching this as a St Kilda supporter. So they're my 5 big talking points coming out of round 10 Sunday. This has been the Sunday Spotlight. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to join the Daz Talks Footy cohort family, whatever you want to call us as a group. You know, Taylor Swift has Swifties. I have no idea. Dazzlings, if you want to go with that, sure. If you've got one better, put that in the comments as well. Thank you so much for watching. Love you all. Tuesday night is going to be the midweek video. Got a couple of ideas percolating in my mind, but we will go and find out what that is together on Tuesday, because I don't have a frigging clue. So hope you're enjoying that. I hope you're enjoying the channel. Stick around, comment, get involved, engaged, all of those beautiful things. I hope you've had yourself a fantastic weekend. I hope you're doing as well mentally and physically as you can be. I love you all. Goodbye.